Welcome back. So, let's talk Merge. The Merge has been interesting. There's been some ups, there's been a lot of downs. I put out my initial reaction to it, I think the week that it came out, but today we're gonna discuss it after it's been out for a few weeks. So, in general, I've been having a pretty good time with the Merge, but I think there's a few caveats to that. Number one, I've been building lineups around mechanics of the matchmaker. Number two, I pretty much have the entirety of every tech tree done. I don't have every single thing in Russia. I don't have every single thing in America or Japan. I do have everything researched in Germany, and I haven't bought everything in Germany. But that does give me options that other people don't have. And I also came into the merge with a lot of silver. I don't have a whole lot now, but I came into it with a lot of silver. So I think my experience is probably different than some other people's. And I know that because I've been playing with people who didn't come in with that. I've had a lot of discussions with my friends about the merge and taken in their opinions and their takes. In general, at least amongst the people that I play with, the merge was a good thing. And part of that is even as awful as the rank 3 matchmaking is, rank 3 to 5 or rank 1 to 3 is still a smaller BR floor and ceiling than what we had in some of the maps, like in some of the campaigns, like Normandy and Berlin. So it's inherently more balanced than it was before, but at the same time, I'm also going to acknowledge that it's not much better than what it was before. At this point, I don't really play BR3. I've been told that you can play like BR3 Germany during like prime time hours because there's so many German players that you'll more often play down. But to be honest, it's just not worth rolling the dice for me. So BR3 and 4 are kind of dead BRs to me. BR5 is better. So I run I switch my lineups up a lot actually because I've got different squads set up with different things. This is just what I have on right now, but if I go into here, I have all manner of different lineups. So we have one, two, three, four, five. I have like six BR5 lineups, and I've got like three BR2 lineups. Um, Really what that changes out is what types of squads that I add. I've got so with my assault squads, this one is they're like my Knights Cross holders. They're all like Gold Order soldiers. They have Sturmgewehrs. These guys, they all have MP 43s. These guys all have MP 717s. These guys have Sturmgewehrs. These guys have Sturmgewehrs. These guys have MKBs. So I basically have a squad set up with each of the BR5 weapons except for the Kirli, which, to be honest, I don't really think should be a rank 5. And it just depends on what I'm feeling like that day. Some days I just want to run all my STG squads. Some days I run all three of these. Sometimes I even drop the STGs and put on the MP 717s. So there's that. Um, I also change up how many vehicles that I'm running. So I have like a blitz lineup where there's like three tanks, and to be fair, I switch up the tanks too. But sometimes it'll be like a Tiger 2H, a Tiger 2P, and like a Yag Panther. Sometimes it'll be like two Panthers and like a rocket artillery. It just depends. But in general, when it comes to playing this game, I either play it at BR2 or I play it at BR5, and that's just because BR2 gets protected matchmaking. The difference between BR2 and BR3 for most nations doesn't really feel that significant to me, but I think that the matchmaking is a huge problem. I really, really, really despise the matchmaking. I've been having a lot of fun with the game, don't get me wrong, but I think the matchmaking should be 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and then 5 should just be on its own. And obviously you can bring stuff up into it, but BR5 should matchmake with BR5. You could argue it can matchmake with BR4, and then you can have 3, 4, 4, 5, but I think it's just simpler if they just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Part of that is because of the issues that certain nations run into with BR5. Most of it's because I'm sick of BR3 and 4 being dead to me. There's a lot of things that I would like to use at BR3 and 4 that I'm not currently using. Having the MP40 and the MP38 come down to BR2 is fantastic. It made the German BR2 lineups a lot more fun because they were cool before because you got to use all these wonky SMGs and whatnot that you previously wouldn't. Um, in general, I think they're doing well with their BR placements and their BR changes. I still think it's bullshit that there's rifles in like bolt action rifles that don't have grenade launchers in BR3. And that goes for normal ones, scoped ones. The only bolt action rifles that belong in GR3 are grenade launchers. Like the VG2, I don't realistically see a good reason why it shouldn't be BR2. The where is it? The SMLE and the Leonfield Mark IV, they should go down. But I mentioned this back in my dev server videos before the merge. Right now, Darkflow has you paying this stupid magazine tax where if you have a gun, if it has more bullets in the magazine, even if it has the same performance as a gun a rank below it, it will be at least one rank higher. That's like the Thompson here, it's fine at BR5. To be honest, even as somebody who plays Japan, I would not care if it goes to BR4. The Tokyo Arsenal SMG is a BR4. This thing hits harder and shoots slower. I think you would have balance and parity there. I don't see a problem with it going to BR4. I don't mind people running around the Pacific with them as the allies. It's really no skin off my teeth. Likewise, if I go to Germany, the Kirli is up here in rank 5. The Beretta is here in rank 4. To be honest, I think they wanted to put an SMG in rank 5. I just don't see how it's like it does shoot faster. It does hit a little bit harder. Like it's probably fine in BR5. It's just compared to the STG, I just don't use it. Compared to the MP717, I just don't use it. If I go to Russia, for example, PPSH is a rank 3. The same PPSH is a rank 5. Not a rank 4, a rank 5. It jumps 2 whole BR higher. And the thing is, all of their guns are up here in rank 5. There's like one SMG in rank 4. And to be honest, the PPD 34, 38 shouldn't be a rank 4. They could easily make the PPD 34, 38 like a rank 3. They could make the PPD 40 a rank 4, and they could leave the PPSH at rank 5. Just space things out a little bit. Because right now, you have all 4 of these guns competing for your assault squads, and your paratrooper squads for that matter. This is the one I'm going to pick like 70% of the time. This is the one that I'm going to pick on like 2 of my squads. I still have them on the event paratroopers. I like the Fedorov Automat. Don't get me wrong, it's a cool gun, but I use it on one assault squad and I use it on one paratrooper squad. All of my other assault squads, practically everybody else is running around with AS-44 Mod 5s. It's just such a good flexible weapon, and it's got a bayonet. This thing is awesome. I have like a squad that I have PPSH 41s on, and don't get me wrong, they're good. This is better. This is very, very good in close quarters. Very good. Excellent. But I have like one squad that I specialize for that. I can take this and I can fight in the mid range. I can fight in short range. It's such a good versatile weapon. It's like the argument of the real world where you have some squads that are dedicated assault squads. You have some squads that are rifle squads. Um, I was just looking into like Soviet force disposition last week, so I'm probably not doing a great job of explaining this, but basically, at the end of World War II, when they were downsizing their army, they they were looking at their force disposition and how many machine gunners they put in each squad, what to do with their desantniki squads, like their tank riders, basically guys that would ride on tanks, get off and protect the tanks, and they all had SMGs, right? They were trying to figure out what to do with them, and this is when the SKS was coming out, and then the AK came along, and it basically solved all of their issues because now you no longer had to decide, do you want dedicated assault troops? How many SMGs do you want in a rifle company? How many rifles do you want? Because now you had a weapon that could do it all. And the AS-44 effectively is that AK. It is that advancement. The AS-44 can do basically everything that you can do with an AVT or an SVT, and it can basically do everything that you can do with a submachine gun. And is it as good at range as an AVT? No. Is it as good at clearing rooms as a PPSH with a drum mag? No. But you know what it does? It does both of those roles, and that makes it so much more valuable. Anyway, this video isn't here for me to celebrate the advantages of the AS-44. My point is that the way that the game is set up right now, there are BRs that are dead to me, and then there are a lot of weapons that have all been shoehorned into one BR that all have to compete with each other, and a lot of them just can't compete with each other. Like, if you have the PPD-40 and the PPSH-41, you have absolutely no reason to use the PPD-40 when you have a PPSH-41. There's there just isn't a reason to do it. This has better recoil, 2212 versus 2210. It has better fire rate. They do the same damage, and the thing is, they cost the same amount of silver. So, like, if I research the PPD-40, I'm not fucking buying them. They don't even come with a squad. I'll get the one that I have to get, and then I'm getting the PPSH. And to be honest, I'm probably only getting one of the PPDs as well because again, I just I don't see the value in it. Like I can get PPS 42s or 43s, but let's say 42s because you get them earlier and you probably want to buy them as soon as you get them, right? I can sit here and I can use PPS 42s comfortably until I get PPSHs, and then I can get like a squad's worth of PPSHs, and then I can get some of these, whichever one you prefer. They're honestly pretty interchangeable, but I prefer the AS-44. And I know that there's this argument that, well, if you unlock the PPD-40, you still have to grind out the PPSH, so you'll use the PPD-40. No, because this transitions us into the next part. The silver economy in this game is so abysmally bad right now that no, just no. Look, I started the merge with 850,000 silver. Okay? I probably sold enough soldiers to make another million silver after that. I'm sitting at 110,000 silver right now. Like, I made a post about this or I made a comment, I think, about this on the subreddit the other day. I genuinely do not understand how they expect a new player to afford to play this game with the current silver economy. Like, I did the math for it the other day, and this isn't exact. I think I like rounded the numbers up. But if you want to outfit an assault squad, right? for a single rank 4 assaulter, you're gonna pay something in the neighborhood of like 31,000 silver for that one guy to fully outfit him. It's like 11,500 for the assaulter. It's like 3,000 for the gun. The upgrades are like 1,500, 3,600, and 5,500, and that's assuming that you have all of the cost reductions. And then you have 200 for a med kit, 500 for a grenade, 500 to 3,000 per pistol, 250 to 500 per melee weapon, 500 to 1,000 per mine, 200 to 1,000 per backpack. And like that's the thing. That's this one guy here. If he Let's go to Germany since they're already on rank 5. That's just this guy. Like buy where are they? Whatever. This one. 3,000 silver. You want to upgrade it the first time? I think this is the first upgrade. This is only 20% discount, but I'm doing a shit job of showing this off. There. You want to upgrade this 900. You want to upgrade it again 1800, 2700, right? This is a lower rank, BR2 weapon now. If I want to do the final upgrade on a Kierley 39, it's 5400 silver. Okay? Then if you want to buy pistols, these are like 500 for whatever fucking reason. These are like 3,000. Don't ask me why there are pistols that cost as much as primaries, but for some reason there are pistols that cost as much as primaries. You want to buy mines? Alright, AT mine, 1,000. AP mine, 1,000. TNT's like 500. Your flasks, like 400 silver. Your backpacks, the little ones are like, what, 200? Something like that? Yeah, 200 for the little ones. The big ammos are 1,000. The big backpacks are like 1,000. I think big grenades are 1,000. Little grenades are 250. So they vary a little bit. But do you want to give your guys axes or shovels? Well, shovels are 250. I think axes are like 500. Yeah, 500. Plus, if you're running multiple med kits, each med kit is like 200. Your grenades are like 500 a pop. That's one soldier. So if this is like 31,000 for just this guy, you still have to do that 4 more times with the assaulters. You still need to do it with the next 3 guys in your assault squad. Oh, and this guy has 2 primaries effectively, so these are like 3,000 silver too. At least you don't have to upgrade them though. And then add on top of that, if you want to actually Brush is a great example for this. If you want to get everything in the line, like I haven't bought these. You know why I haven't bought these? Because I can't buy them. Because for some stupid fucking reason, somebody decided that you need to buy everything in the line. So I need to get the PE2. I need to buy the Boston. I need to buy the IL2 1937. I think I already have everything else, right? But if I went and did that, that's 15K, that puts us up to 30K, that puts us up to 45K, that puts us up to 60K, that puts us up to 75,000. 75,000, right? You know how many planes here I care about? One, maybe? I don't really, to be honest, this is the plane that I want to use. The rest of them, I really don't care about. I don't actually think the IL-10 is really that incredible. But my point here is that I came into this with a pretty absurd amount of silver. Like, most people did not come in with as much silver as I have. And because I had a lot of silver, it means that I can outfit, different squads for different nations in different ways, and I have a little bit of freedom in how I play the game. Most people don't have that. A new player starting today does not have that. They're going to have to sit here and they're going to have to pick and choose what they want to buy in the tree as they research it, because they're not going to be able to afford to get everything as they research it. That's why when I made my like Russian video about grinding the tech tree, I was talking about which things in the tech tree you should bother even investing in after you research them. Like the Mosin 38 carbines, that's what I would be buying, and that's what I would be using all the way until you get to like the SV38 or the SVT40. Because this is a 500 silver rifle, and it's going to be cheap to upgrade, and it's effectively the same thing as the M44. It fires faster than the M9130, and it has a bayonet over the 1895. Don't get me wrong, the 1895 is a phenomenal rifle, but you're paying 3 times the silver for it. And if you're a brand new player and you need to get everything in your tech tree, and you want to get tanks, and you want to get planes, and you want to actually put equipment on your soldiers and not just give them a rifle, smack them on the ass, and tell them good luck, chap, then you actually have to pick and choose what you're gonna pick up. And I know that I've talked to community helpers on the subreddit, and they've told me you make the same amount of silver as before. And I believe them. They know better than I do. You may make the same amount of silver before. You also have to spend a lot more silver than before. Before, you did not have to buy squads. You just got them, and they came with that first gun. Okay? You did not have to buy vehicles before. You did not have to buy planes before. You have to buy all of those now. There used to be a random roll when you bought a weapon. Like right now, if you go in here, it's 500 and let me go to the shop. This will be a better way to show it. It used to be that you'd go, you'd look at a weapon, you'd hit more details, and here it would show you the rank 1, the rank 2, the rank 3, the rank 4, and the thing is, when you bought it, you had a random roll to get any level of the rifle. So, yes, a lot of the time you had to upgrade them. But you also got a lot of rifles, a lot of SMGs, whatever, where you didn't have to do all of the upgrades on them because they came partially upgraded. Not to mention, if you were somebody like me who had Stalingrad access, for example, all of your weapons there came at rank 4. That doesn't happen for me anymore. Like, that part of Stalingrad access is kaput. So, all of this is to say that, in my opinion, the silver economy in this game needs to be entirely overhauled from the ground up. And I'm going to include a boatload of screenshots that I've been taking of my post game matches. As far as I can tell, and I could be wrong, I think I've heard that your silver is based on XP. I think that's bullshit. Based on my experience, your silver is entirely dependent on how long you spend in battle. Because I've had games where I got 10,000 points one game, 11,000 points the next game, and I've made less silver on the 11,000 point game than the 10,000 point game. Like, I know that they've said that they're going to bring in silver rewards for battle heroes. I honestly don't know if that's enough, especially when we're talking about new people who have no idea what they're doing and aren't going to be getting battle heroes. I understand that the silver economy is set up the way that it is because there's ultimately a hard cap on how much silver you need in the game. I think that there are other ways that they could have handled this. I think they, like, to be entirely honest, I know this is going to sound extreme. I think they should double the amount of silver that you get. And if they're worried about people not having anything to put silver into, then they should add in silver sinks. So, number one, right now we have the ability to sell squads. If you sell a squad, you get like a little pittance of 10,000 silver. It's not worth it. Don't do it. It's a stupid addition, but some people wanted it, so they gave it to them. More power to you if you're one of those people and you like it. But I have no reason to ever sell a squad. I like making extra lineups. And since the preset system is at best, being able to preset squads basically fixes that for me. Anyway, they should add in an option to buy duplicates of squads just like this. So you spend 10,000 silver, since that's what apparently these squads are worth when you sell them, and then you get a copy of a squad, and it comes with no soldiers, it comes with no gear. It's literally just an extra squad, so you can be like, I want an extra, I don't know, engineer squad. Why not? Then you can take that engineer squad and you can populate it however you want. What it effectively does is it means that you can set up multiple different rank, like let's say here, right? You can have three different rank 5 assault squads. You might only ever run one of them, but they all have different equipment. So depending on what you want to play, you can just toss the next squad on. Boom. So there's gold sync, or not gold, silver sync number one. Number two, they should add in a silver sync to buy gold orders. They can make it like you come into the battle pass area, you see it sitting like here, here, and here. There's one for guns, soldiers, vehicles. It costs you like 500,000 silver per. You can contribute to it anytime you want, so you don't have to buy it all at once. You can every day you could throw like 2,000 silver into it if you wanted to. But the point is, it's something that costs a ton of silver for people who have nothing else to spend their silver on, who have everything in the game, and it makes it so that you can actually have a silver economy because people will always need silver then. And it's not like you're making silver at a great rate to actually be able to buy a ton of these. And if 500k is too low, make it a million silver. I don't really care what you place the limit or like the cost, the price at to buy these gold orders, but I think you can make gold orders a silver sink. And then you can make the rest of the game more affordable for everybody. Moving on, customization. Customization needs a complete overhaul. So right now, this guy's set up for Stalingrad. These I used to have on my engineers. They have the like MP uh, badges on them. They're kind of cool. If we go to a different campaign, like I don't know, let's say I think these guys are set up for Normandy, like Normandy, right? These guys pretty much look the same as those guys. These guys will be dressed up looking right. These guys will not. Their helmets and they lose their jackets. Why? Who the fuck knows? They need to do a complete overhaul of this. What they actually need to do is probably the War Thunder system where you have here's your summer loadout, here's your winter loadout, here's your desert loadout. And then on top of that, put a little clicker in every time you go into battle and pick your squad, put it like right over here. It's a little drop down. You click it and you pick like summer, winter, or desert. That way you can force it to spawn whatever it is that you want. So if you have customizations that you've set up and oh no, these guys are from Stalingrad. By the way, the only difference that you can really tell with some of these guys, because these guys actually also have Stalingrad gear on, they're probably the better example, right? The difference between these guys and these guys, I know it's really subtle. The difference is if you look at their sleeves, they're a little bit pointy there. You see how they come to a point? And then if you look at these guys, they're a little bit less pointy. At least that's the only difference that I've been able to see. I think these guys are a little bit more rounded. Or like their sleeves are tighter. Maybe the other guy's sleeves are just a little bit bigger. I really other than that, I really don't know. But they run into the same issue that that these guys do, where their jackets don't show up on some of the maps. Like it's so stupid. And it affects premium squads too. And they said that they were going to address it with premium squads, and some of them they have. Like these guys, they pretty much show up everywhere looking like this, so I appreciate that. But this shouldn't be an issue. It's something that I can't imagine is going to be a tremendously difficult fix. Like for all I care, they could make it so that you only have one customization here, and you just pick that customization. But come on. Like, if you're on default gear, sure, the default gear can change for every campaign. But if you have if you have outfits that you've picked up, then you should have those outfits everywhere you go, or at least everywhere that you want to use them. I don't care what system they use to fix it, but they need to fix it. Moving on, I know that there have been some issues between the Americans and whatnot. I think a lot of that, I know this sounds bad, but I think a lot of it comes down to player skill. I've played against a lot of really powerful American teams in the last few days that have played extremely aggressively and have won their games. I've seen more and more American players that are dropping in paratroopers to flank Tigers, and I've seen more Americans bombing Tigers. To be honest, most of the time, if I pull a Tiger 2 out in an American game, it doesn't last more than a few minutes because American players have figured out how to play the game. I don't think it's as big of an issue as people make it out to be. I think it's a good thing that they're adding the Pershing, but I also I wouldn't hold my breath. I don't necessarily think it's going to fix all of their tank v tank problems. Um, all in all, I think a lot of this is I think a lot of this has gone pretty well. I just think that there are those few issues that I discussed that really need to be addressed. I don't know. I think the game in general is in a pretty good state. I guess the only other thing I should address, I was blanking there on the point that I wanted to make. They need to address the player base imbalance, and I think the way to handle the player base imbalance, some people have suggested like XP. I don't think XP is the solution. Like I obviously XP doesn't really affect me. I'm not thinking about it from my perspective. I'm thinking about when I was first playing the game. And if I was progressing like America, because that was one of the first nations I played a lot, if they offered me an XP bonus to go and play like Russia because Russia just didn't have players, I honestly don't know if I would have gone and played Russia. I don't think an XP buff is enough. I think what they need to do is give you like rewards that you can spend on any faction. So you're incentivized to go and play the less well played or less popular faction, but you can still take what you get there, go back to your main faction, and actually use it to benefit you. Um, so I think that you should get a silver bonus that scales with the population. Um, basically, each week it should look at what the population was the previous week, and based off of the percentage of players, or the ratio, I guess, of players that are outnumbered, it should give you a scaling percent silver increase for playing that faction. And I think the minimum should be like 10% more silver. And it should scale up from there. And then on top of that, I think it would be worthwhile to put in, again, a gold order system. I know I'm really creative, but I think gold orders have a lot of value. And I think having like long-term ways to grind them out would be good. So the gold order system that I envision is basically every, let's say, 100 battles, you get a gold order. And it cycles, so it goes like gold soldier, gold weapon, gold vehicle, gold soldier, gold weapon, gold vehicle every 100 battles or every 150 battles. How they can set the limit wherever they think it's right. Um, but the idea is, and these are battles because they're it would be they would have a list of restrictions, right? Like it's predicated on battles that you play to completion, right? If you desert the battle, if you leave early, it doesn't count. It's to discourage degenerate behavior, right? Because if all you have to do is get into the battle and leave, well, people are just going to join, leave, join, right? And just farm gold orders. That'd be stupid. It defeats the entire purpose. So it has to be battles that you go into, you make at least 1,000 points, and you play to completion. So you can't just go into them in AFK. You can't just go into them and leave. You have to actually go in and play the game to completion. And then if you desert, then you lose a point off your battle. You don't just like leave and not get the battle, you also lose a battle from your progression. Because the whole point of this is to get people to come in and to play these less popular factions and to like boost their player numbers and get people actually playing the game. Not people coming in and having AFK bots, not people that are going to join and leave, people who are going to join and actually contribute to your team. And then your reward from this is you get a gold order and you can take it back to your main faction and you can get something cool for yourself. So, to round things out, I think by and large, the merge has been a good thing, but I think that there are some flaws, and everything is flawed, right? Not just this in this game, just everything in general is never perfect. It's just the gravity of some of the flaws that are in this right now are so impactful that they're to the detriment of people playing the game and especially to new players starting the game. I know in the past it was always tossed around that the new players are getting bullied by the old veterans who have everything. Well, the new players are still getting bullied by the veterans that have everything, but now they can't afford anything either. So I think something needs to be done. I think that the matchmaking probably is priority number one, and the silver economy is probably priority number two, and then fixing the player population disparity is probably number three, and then customization is probably number four. Customization is just like a vanity personal gripe. I just want to see it fixed. Um, but it's not really important in the grand scheme of things. Like that's one of the normal kind of flaws that I'm talking. Like if the merge came out and the only issue was that customization wasn't where I want it to be and some of the BRs are kind of scuffed, I think it would have been resoundingly popular. But between the silver economy, between the way the matchmaker works, between the player disparity, the population disparity, I think those three issues are huge. And even though I've been having a fun time and most of my friends have been having a good time, it's it's definitely big enough problem that I think it's driving some people away. Obviously, I don't have the numbers. I can't tell you how many people, but I think it's enough of an issue that I think it would be difficult. If I went to one of my friends who doesn't play this game, who would just be starting out, I think it would be really hard to convince them to stick with the game without seriously investing into the game and getting like premium time and getting like a couple premium squads just because of how bad the economy is in the game right now, and they just wouldn't be able to get to where they want to be in like a reasonable amount of time without that sort of thing. Um, and even then, I don't know if they'd even stick with the game then, because even if you have all that, it's the silver economy is still crap. Like the game was designed without having silver in it, so like premium time, it gives you a research bonus, it gives you extra squads, reserve, decals, whatever, right? The thing is, if silver is tied to XP, then technically it gives you more silver. Like I said, I don't feel like it's tied to XP, but maybe it is. I don't know. Let me know down below what you think. Have you guys been enjoying the merge? Like I said, I sound really annoyed about all this. I'm really not as annoyed as I sound. Um, I'm just passionate when I start speaking about stuff. I get up on my soapbox and I can sit here and rant for hours. um, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. Have you been enjoying the merge? What do you think is the most important issue? Honestly, you should get out there and get on the forums and let Darkflow know what you think the biggest issue is. Darkflow is usually fairly receptive, but I mean, if some of these choices I think are done by design. Um, like the whole having to buy everything in a line, it's incredibly stupid, but it was clearly done by design. Maybe if people complain enough, they'll change it, but I don't know if they're going to change a fundamental design choice like that. Um, but yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Merry Christmas. Get out there, kick ass, take names, and win your games.